In this brief video, we aim to provide you an overview of both the functionality and the power of utilizing IDnest to run your firm's financial and marketing back office needs.
The first thing that you need to ensure is that down in your settings over on external systems that you have enabled QuickBooks. This is really easy. You're basically just going to hit the connect button, and when you do, it's going to ask you to log into QuickBooks. Once you do that, you're going to be set and ready to go. Once that is connected, then you are able to go to the tools. And here in the tools, you'll see all the available tools that can be added. Several of these do require QuickBooks in order to add them to your IDnest system. Once added, you can look here on the dashboard and you can see all of your tools. So let's just step into a couple of those tools in particular so you can see how they work together. So let's run into the budget to actual, for example. So coming in here to the budget and actual, and we're going to look at 2025 actually. The first thing that you're going to want to do is come over to your cog, click on your cog, and you're going to want to select the QuickBooks accounts that you actually want to track. So as we know in QuickBooks, there are a lot of accounts, and you might only want to track your budget to actual on some of them. So this is giving you that ability to go through, check the ones that you want to be monitoring, and then leave off the ones that you don't. Here in your overall percentage difference threshold, this is where you're going to pop in what is the percent that is basically for your overall budget acceptable to you in terms of being over. So that allows your system to say, hey, once you hit that threshold, we're going to notify you by turning your tool on the front of your dashboard red. And I'll show you what that looks like here in a second. But go ahead and put in what is your threshold that is acceptable to you for your overall budget. And then obviously this is your budget period. Do you want to monitor your budget annually, quarterly, or monthly? So you can add that in there as well. So once your settings are complete, then you're able to look here and you're able to see your actuals coming in as well as your budget. So this is where you can add your budget in for these individual items that you've chosen to track. This is pulling in your actual from QuickBooks, your budget, showing your difference, your percent difference. Now, you have your overall budget threshold that I showed you there in the settings, but you also can have individual thresholds per line item. So, and this will show you over here, just in a visual red and green, when you have exceeded that budget, or when green is obviously you're within budget and you're good to go. So, returning to the dashboard, that here, as you can see, it's black. You don't have to worry about it. But if you were to pass that threshold of your overall budget, this would turn red for you. So let's also look here at another area that pulls in your information from QuickBooks, and that's over here in your project profitability. So what your project profitability is doing here is it's pulling in per project what your numbers are coming from QuickBooks. So what are your total sales, your total sales of goods and fees, your total income, total cost of goods, and your gross profits. So this also is looking at it by project, and allows you to come in and look here at your general settings and decide, again, what is your personal profitability percentage goal for your overall business? So what do you want all your projects to look like as far as your profitability? And if you exceed that or below it, your dashboard is gonna notify you through a red or a green color. You also are able just to decide which projects do you want to follow at this time. So you can follow all of your projects or just some of your projects. For your overall project profitability. So this also allows you to set a profitability threshold per project, similar to the budget to actual, where you can basically say for, one of your projects, you want a 60% overall profitability, but for another one, you want 75. And you can see here visually whether or not you are meeting that threshold or not through the red and green visuals. So returning here, let's run down to your cash availability analysis. This is going to gray out when you're not clicking on it, so that if somebody's running behind your desk, they don't see how much do you have in your bank account. But let's view this. So the way that this one is working, I think this is a very unique tool, and that not only is it pulling in from QuickBooks what your actual cash available is, but it has this great little line right here, which is due to vendors paid by client. This is an area where it is pulling from your project management system, and it is looking at all of those items that you paid, the client paid you, but you still owe the vendor for that item. So that you can look at the balance in your checking account and know truly how much cash available for business operations with that liability taken out, which is you still owe that money to the vendors, even though the client has paid you. So this is a really valuable tool to give designers that total of really what is in their bank account that they can actually use for either taking a distribution or paying themselves, business operations, etc. So let's run back. Another area that QuickBooks pulls in is over here in Vendor Insights. If you can see these Vendor Insights, what this is showing you, it's a combination of data that's in your CRM system, as well as data that's coming from QuickBooks. So it's showing you the individual vendors, it's showing you what has been paid to date, and what have you basically made on those vendors. How much markup total for that particular vendor. And then the rating is giving you those ratings that you have entered into your CRM system. We'll address that at another date, but your star rating. And then here you can go back and you can look at all the notes that have you written about that vendor over in your CRM. So you can also do some filtering here where you can filter by, what minimum paid to date, maximum paid to date, rankings, etc. You can also filter by your tag. So you can say, I want to see all my vendors that are artists, example of using your tags to be able to filter down on these vendors. Over here in your cog, similar to some of the other tools, you are able to put in a personal profitability goal of how much do you really want to have as your profitability across all your vendors. And then your system will show on the dashboard green or red if you are meeting that profitability goal. So that is, if you return, those are some of the areas in the system that really do take advantage of the QuickBooks integration with IDnest.
The Dove Agency is committed to services that ensure your financial stability and growth. As part of our dedication to the design industry, we present IDnest, a powerful software solution for designers. Built by industry experts, it integrates financial insights, project and task management, time tracking, CRM and marketing tools to streamline workflow and power your designs. IDnest, bringing critical info together to power your success. Simply, powerfully.